Glasgow, WCLU.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Dell Small Business.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez in New York. The suspect in the hammer attack on Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul, is expected to be arraigned at court in San Francisco later today. Prosecutors have uncovered more about David DePape's motives. Correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti is outside the Pelosi's home.
In an interview with police, DePape called Speaker Pelosi the leader of the pack of lies told by the Democratic Party, said he planned to hold Nancy hostage and talk to her, and if she lied to him, he would break Nancy's kneecaps. She would then have to be wheeled into Congress, which would show other members of Congress there were consequences to actions.
A violent Halloween night on the west side of Chicago. Police Superintendent David Brown says more than a dozen people were wounded in a drive-by shooting, including a 3-year-old and 2 other children.
They're all in various conditions between critical and non-life-threatening. We also have a person struck by a vehicle.
So far, no arrests. Christopher Schur, the former Michigan police officer who killed Patrick Lyoya during a traffic stop in April, has been ordered to stand trial for second-degree murder. WMMT TV's Mike Krafsik has more from Kalamazoo.
Cell phone video shows Schur firing a shot into the back of Lyoya's head following a struggle for his taser. The 26-year-old was pulled over for a mismatched license plate.
South Korea's police chief acknowledges officers did not respond to urgent calls warning of potential danger ahead of Saturday's deadly Halloween crowd surge in Seoul. Steve Blessy's 20-year-old son was among the more than 150 people killed.
The embassy called us late Saturday night, and when they said the words, "Are you sitting down?" I knew what the next words were going to be. The world's just not as bright with him not in it.
A new vaccine is finally within reach to protect babies and the elderly against a potentially deadly virus. Here's correspondent Vicki Barker.
The respiratory virus RSV can cause bronchitis and pneumonia. It kills up to 300 children under 5 each year in the U.S. and also targets the old. Now, Pfizer says its trial vaccine was 82% effective in preventing RSV in newborns when given to pregnant women.
New milestones for Taylor Swift's new album. Here's CBS's Monica Ricks.
Midnights has only been out a little over a week, and it's already the biggest album of the year. It's also just cemented Taylor Swift's name in the record books. She's now the first artist to score all 10 of the top 10 songs on the Billboard Hot 100.
S&P futures are up 33. Dow futures ahead 188. This is CBS News.
Dell Technologies early Black Friday starts now with 48% off business PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Call 877-ASK-DELL.
Why wait to save? Dell Technologies Black Friday event arrives early with select deals on top tech to power business productivity. The savings start now with up to 48% off performance business PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, including free shipping on everything. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL for Black Friday deals. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Slash to be in your band.
Next up for lead guitar. You're in.
Cool. Yep, even easier than that. And with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
A new study finds Americans are more than twice as likely to say their finances have taken a dive since President Biden took office.
43% of those asked said their economic situation has worsened. Bankrate senior economic analyst Mark Hamrick.
When we ask people who say their finances are worse about blame, some 69% place at least a moderate amount of blame on President Biden for their financial situation.
42% of those polled think their financial situation will be about the same in the next 2 years. 32% believe they'll be worse off. 26% think they'll be better off. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
A silent protest at last night's Nets game in Brooklyn.
Irving, the jumper is good.
About a dozen fans sat courtside, all wearing blue T-shirts that read "Fight Anti-Semitism," after Kyrie Irving stirred up controversy, sharing a link to a movie called Hebrews to Negroes. Wake up, Black America. Some say it is rampant with anti-Semitism. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS alone. If you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit Optima.
Injuries and illnesses that require immediate attention can happen anytime, any day of the week. That's why TJ Urgent Care is open daily, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Their team of doctors and nurse practitioners are highly trained in caring for your family's urgent health care needs. With on-site lab, radiology, and pharmacy, TJ Urgent Care provides the ultimate convenience. No appointment is needed, and TJ Urgent Care is open 7 days a week. TJ Urgent Care, located at the TJ Health Pavilion in Glasgow. TJ Urgent Care, total local care.
Being a small business owner has changed a great deal in recent days. Whatever stage of small business you're in, you need an experienced financial partner to work for you. Derek Staples at U.S. Bank is a small business specialist that you can count on to help you with creative ways to deal with the challenges you may have. U.S. Bank is in a great position to meet those needs. Talk to Derek Staples today at 270-659-3271 and take the next step in managing your business. Member FDIC.
You know you can depend on WCLU for local news on the air, online, on demand at WCLUradio.com.
Yes, I get busy talking to nice folks on the phone, so y'all enjoy the music there while I get my the correct list up here to take care of telling you about some birthdays today. And yes, we've got anniversary on here too. Let me make sure I get everything together right here. We have a 16-year-old, sweet 16, for Ian Mannion. Happy 16th birthday to Ian Mannion. Mr. Benjamin Carter tuned in Louisville, Kentucky this morning. Mr. Benjamin Carter is 22 today. We have Karen Boggs with a birthday. Brian King, Richard Botts, Larry Alexander. We had a very, very kind sister to call up to wish her twin brothers, Danny Simmons and David Simmons, a happy birthday. That's Danny and David Simmons with birthdays today. Perry Brantley has a birthday today, and I can't fail to wish my brother a happy birthday. Sam Royce having a birthday today, too. It's also one anniversary we have here. It's for Bill, and we certainly want to be sure and congratulate everybody on the birthday and the anniversary lineup here. 651-9149, 800-956-1023, and online we're here at WCLUradio.com. 9 minutes after 6 o'clock here on Good Morning Live, WCLU and the Big Willie, 56 degrees. Excuse me, that's where we're starting off the day today. Let me get over here and talk about the weather forecast, where we're going to go from here. We've got a partly sunny day today and a high of 69. Tonight's mostly cloudy and a low of 52. Then for the day on, the day on Wednesday, mostly cloudy, gradually becoming sunny with a high about 70 degrees. On Wednesday night, mostly clear and a low of 46. And then on Thursday, a sunny day and a high temperature up to about 74 degrees. How's that for, what would that be, the third day of November? 74 degrees. Let's see, we had a little rain yesterday evening, making it kind of officially, you know, a damp, wet leaf sort of a Halloween around here, but only 3 100ths is what we had, 0.03 in our rain gauge. The most rain was up around Louisville. I saw Shelbyville and up in Oldham County, Bullitt County. They all got about 1/4 inch of rain yesterday. We had 0.03 here. Barometer's up at 30.11, 99% humidity, southwest winds at 2. And it's 56 at WCLU. Good morning live. Brendan Crane in the newsroom. Round 1 of local news is coming your way. Stay with us.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps' base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve, but passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file lawsuit seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation. 800-611-3437. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-611-3437. That's 800-611-3437. Again, 800-611-3437.
Well, good morning. It's Tuesday, November 1st. It's great to have you with us today. As always, I'm Brennan Crane here in the newsroom, broadcasting from our studios in Glasgow, Kentucky. It's WCLU Local News. Good morning. A little wet out there this morning, but that's been the trend over the last couple of days. Looks like that'll be out on the clearing as far as we're concerned for the rest of today and into the rest of the week. In news this hour, a burn ban in Barron County has been lifted. The ban was instated October 5th amid dry conditions across the area. Many counties across south central Kentucky, they declared similar bans in early October. Now, periods of rain moved through the area last week and Sunday, of course, and those appear to have improved conditions, which led to the rescission of the order. The Kentucky wildlife hazard season, it does remain active, though. Remember that. It lasts through December 15th, and it places limited restrictions on burning. The hazard season, it will prohibit burning within 150 feet of any woodland or brushland from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., except when the ground is covered in snow. And, of course, that doesn't appear to be the way we're going right now, at least in the next few days. The Glasgow Board of Education is scheduled to meet this evening in a special session. That's beginning at 6 p.m. And the only thing on the agenda tonight is one closed session, and that's pursuant to state law that allows the board to go into that closed session for the discussion of proposed litigation involving the Board of Education. Only thing on the agenda, they'll exit that closed session and possibly have action based upon that closed session. Now, this is a significant move here with the Glasgow Board of Education right now because just a few weeks ago, WCLU News discovered that former Superintendent Keith Hale was overpaid a great deal in retirement money for unused sick days. Essentially, instead of being paid, the state allowed 30% maximum for those unused sick days that Mr. Hale had accrued. He was paid out for 100% of those as if he had fully worked those or was compensated for them. So again, we'll have coverage of this meeting. It's a little unclear because, again, it's a closed session, so no one exactly is going to reveal why they're going into that closed session. We're making a deduction there based off some things that are going on right now with the Glasgow School Systems Board of Education. We'll let you know about that as soon as we know. That meeting tonight, again, it is open to the public. Of course, those closed meetings will be outside of the public's ears, but it will be at the central office of Glasgow Independent Schools beginning at 6 p.m. In the way of other school news, Barron County Schools released information yesterday saying their teacher Logan Brooks is among the top 3 teachers in the state to be chosen for Special Education Teacher of the Year. Miss Brooks is the teacher for hearing impaired children throughout the district. She provides assistance to students and content teachers to ensure hearing impaired students experience success, they say. The Board of Education releasing information saying the Special Education Teacher of the Year recognition is sponsored by the Kentucky Department of Education, Office of Special Education and Early Learning, and the Kentucky Council for Exceptional Children. Now, the winner of the 2022 Kentucky Special Education Teacher of the Year Award, they will be announced at the KYCEC Conference on November 21st during the general session at the Galt House Hotel there in Louisville. The 2022 Kentucky Special Education Teacher of the Year winner, they'll be receiving $500 awarded from KYCEC, along with a scholarship to attend the Special Education Legislative Summit in Washington. Each finalist, they'll be recognized and honored with a cash prize of $250 awarded there from the Kentucky CEC. And again, we've rolled over now to November 1st, so that conference looks like it'll only be a few weeks out, and we'll be eager to hear about that information there from Barron County Schools. Well, the way gas prices are shaping up this week, looks like they're 3 cents lower this week at $3.30 per gallon. That's according to AAA East Central's gas price report. The average price last week, $3.33, and the average price during this time last year, $3.09. Across the area, Bowling Green's at $3.31, E-Town $3.13, Louisville $3.58, Owensboro at $3.20, and Paducah at $3.29. And of course, that trend analysis looks like tepid domestic gas demand and shifting global oil prices. They're the main reasons for this slight dip. Today's national average, it's 3 cents lower than a month ago and 36 cents more than a year ago. According to data from the Energy Information Administration, gas demand rose slightly from 8.68 million barrels per day to 8.93 million barrels per day last week, and total domestic gasoline stocks, they decreased as well. It's 6:16, 56 degrees. I'm Brennan Crane. We'll be right back with more news.
If you haven't been to Hurt Auto Sales at 621 West Main Street in Glasgow in a while, you've missed it. But to get us caught up, here he is, Bobby Lee Hurt.
Hey, Henry, we just got in a 2014 GMC Crew Cab two-wheel drive truck for only $21,900. 13 Nissan Pathfinder Platinum Edition all-wheel drive local vehicle, only $15,900. 2014 Jeep Cherokee, a midsize SUV, nice looking ride, $14,900. If you don't want to spend a lot of money, we have an 06 Buick Lucerne CXL, excellent condition, just $6,900.
Don't you get a good feeling when people come up here looking and they have found exactly what they want?
We have a lot of that and proud to do so.
So it's 621 West Main Street. Those are just 4, but the highlights are much more. If you come check it out today at Hurt Auto Sales, 621 West Main Street. Bobby Lee is here. The hot light is on and it reads,
no pain when you trade with Hurt.
Healthcare changes all the time, but at Hatchet Home Medical, we're a consistent friend to help you navigate the road to good health. We are your headquarters for all types of equipment and supplies to let you recuperate at home, and we keep up with all the changes. So let us file the paperwork for insurance reimbursement. Hatchet Home Medical's huge showroom and warehouse on Park Avenue in Glasgow lets us stock what you need, and our trained technicians are courteous and helpful when setting up and instructing you or your caretakers. We feature a 24-hour on-call phone number to help in emergencies. And remember, all healthcare professionals, Hatchet's Home Medical has the area's largest selection of nurses' uniforms and supplies, featuring the best of name brands. Whether you need a wheelchair, walker, hospital bed, or other assistive device, the name to remember is Hatchet Home Medical in the Park Avenue Shopping Center in Glasgow. Phone 651-9551.
Have you heard about the new online home for the Glasgow EPB? Well, it isn't just a new-looking website. It's a whole new way to manage your Glasgow EPB services. At the all-new GlasgowEPB.com, you can take care of paying your bill online like always, but you can also request or transfer your Glasgow EPB services, access customer support guides, easily sign up for GEPB alerts, and learn about all available products and programs. So check it out today, GlasgowEPB.com.
Welcome back into WCLU News, Tuesday, November 1st. It's 56 degrees and 619 this morning. The way our weather forecast is shaping up today, looks like it is going to be a pleasant day today. And as you may have heard yesterday, temperatures and the trend, they are going upward toward the end of the week. Today looks like we will have a high about 69. Tonight, increasing clouds, a low around 49. By Wednesday, back into the 70s at 72. And looks like your Friday is set to be sunny with a high near 76. And the weekend, some chance of showers coming back into that forecast already. So be on the lookout for that. But at least for the next few days, we can focus on hopefully some clear skies, sunny skies, and some really good temperatures. Officials say more than $200 million will be spent on 408 projects that will help provide clean drinking water in communities across Kentucky. Governor Andy Beshear said in a statement last week that the projects will provide clean drinking water and improve water and sewer infrastructure in 102 counties, Barron County's included in there. Officials say that includes water and sewer line projects that will benefit 1,500 unserved homes and 38,000 underserved homes, along with projects that expand service. The funding will go toward several other additions and improvements. All grant awardees, they must obligate the funds by the end of 2024. The University of Kentucky says one of its students was among more than 150 people killed when a huge Halloween party crowd surged into a narrow alley in a nightlife district in Seoul, South Korea. University of Kentucky President Eli Capilouto said in a statement Sunday that Ann Gieske, a nursing student from northern Kentucky, died in the crush of people in the Itaewon area of Seoul on Saturday night. The university president says Gieske was studying in South Korea this semester with an education abroad program. He says the university also has 2 other students and a faculty member there, but they've been contacted and they're safe. The philanthropic arm of Ford Motor Company says it's giving $1 million to help West Tennessee communities improve infrastructure as they prepare for the automaker's electric truck and battery factory. The Ford Motor Company Fund said Tuesday that capital grants are available for nonprofit organizations and municipalities surrounding Blue Oval City. That's the $5.6 billion joint venture between Ford and South Korean battery maker SK On. Ford has begun construction on a large parcel of land known in Haywood County. Ford plans to employ about 6,000 workers at the plant, and while construction of the factory and the arrival of Ford suppliers will create thousands more jobs. And finally today, livestock exhibitors from across the country are heading to Louisville November 3rd through the 17th to compete at the North American International Livestock Exposition. That's held annually at the Kentucky Exposition Center, and exhibitors showcase top livestock exceeding 23,000 this year, competing in hopes of winning a portion of premiums totaling nearly $500,000. Now, the NAILE is the largest purebred livestock exposition in the world. The expo, it features entries for many major divisions of livestock, beef cattle, Boer goats, dairy cattle, dairy goats, draft horses, llamas, alpacas, hogs, and sheep. There are a variety of experiences for livestock enthusiasts, and you can catch those at these following times. The North American Country Store, that's November 4th through the 7th and 9th through the 17th. The North American Championship Rodeo will be November 10th through the 12th, and live streaming of select events will be there through that event, of course. So again, that's the North American International Livestock Exposition going on at the Kentucky Exposition Center there in Louisville. 623, 56 degrees. I'm Brennan Crane. Don't forget about that WCLU radio app. Download that for your mobile device. Election day is just 1 week away. And of course, we're already looking ahead toward that early voting, which is on the backside of this week. We'll talk about that a little later on. Have a great day.
News, weather, sports, and more. Weekdays on Good Morning Live and Local on WCLU at WCLUradio.com and Facebook.
This is the Kentucky News Network.
Fayette County schools are the latest to take advantage of a statewide program designed to tackle the teacher shortage in Kentucky.
I hope that we're able through the program to really nurture that passion throughout the experience while giving them the skills and the expertise that they need to be successful when they have their own classrooms, but know that they're coming back to serve their own community.
Lou Young of the University of Kentucky tells WKYT-TV The statewide program is meant to develop students who want to come back to their own schools to teach. Recently, Christian County Schools partnered with Murray State University as part of the Kentucky Department of Education program. More on a University of Kentucky student who was killed over the weekend in South Korea when a human stampede started at a Halloween party.
In a statement on Facebook, Beechwood Independent Schools says the district is heartbroken to learn about the loss of Ann Gieske. She grew up in Fort Mitchell and graduated from Beechwood High just last year. She went on to attend the University of Kentucky and had been studying abroad in South Korea. The district says she was a student, friend, mentor, drum major in the band, and a beloved member of the Fort Mitchell community. Counseling is available for students and plans are being made locally to honor Ann's memory in the coming days. I'm Jack Crumley.
2 Lexington police officers have been charged with DUI in separate incidents over the past weekend. Police say 23-year-old Justin Roberts was arrested after he was involved in a multi-vehicle accident on I-75 early Sunday morning. Court documents show he tested for almost twice the legal limit in a breathalyzer test. Roberts was a police recruit and resigned yesterday. A second Lexington officer, Detective Derek Walton, has been charged with DUI following an injury accident in Georgetown Sunday night. He was relieved of sworn duties and placed on administrative assignment. I'm Sean McCormick.
This is the Kentucky News Network.
This election, vote no on Amendment 2. Amendment 2 is a government mandate that would take away our individual rights. Amendment 2 is an extreme measure that bans all abortions, no exceptions. Not for the life of the mother or in the case of rape or incest. The decision to have an abortion should be made between a woman, her doctor, family, and faith. There's no telling how far politicians will go. We have to vote no on Amendment 2. Abortions in Kentucky have always been highly regulated. Abortion later in pregnancy is banned in Kentucky, and all women seeking an abortion must go through mandatory counseling. Amendment 2 puts women and families in danger. Miscarriages become fatal. Pregnancy complications can threaten a mother's life. It's why religious leaders and doctors across the state are voting no. Tell politicians Amendment 2 goes too far. On November
Most people will hesitate before planning a funeral in advance. The funeral? We'll arrange that when the time comes. But there's a lot to be said for advance planning. For one thing, you have the peace of mind of knowing that your arrangements have all been made. You can consider the options when your mind is clear, and you'll have the relief of knowing that your loved one will be well cared for. A.F. Crow & Son Funeral Home, a celebration of love.
In my family, I'm the planner. From the weekly grocery list to the family vacation, everything, all the details. Though planning for the end was something I left off my list. Then a friend told me about South Central Kentucky Monuments in Glasgow. She said even though it wasn't on her to-do list, seeing them was one of the best planning decisions she'd ever made. South Central Kentucky Monuments showed her the different options they have available, even an image of the finished monument. And since South Central Kentucky Monuments does all the stone carving in-house, it cost much less than she expected. They made the process easy to create the exact memorial she wanted. So my husband and I made a plan to see them. We are so happy with our decision. We encouraged our family and friends to do the same. It'll be the best planning decision you ever make.
Buy direct and save money at South Central Kentucky Monuments at the corner of East Front Street and Columbia Avenue. Family owned in Glasgow since 2010.
You're listening to WCLU Local News on Good Morning Live here on WCLU and on the Big Willie, and we are looking at 56 degrees, forecasting a pleasant, above-average week temperature-wise. In area funeral announcements this hour, Herman Leon Stewart, age 67, of Cave City and formerly of Scottsville, died Friday at his residence. He was a former employee of Houchins and a mechanic. He is survived by 2 brothers, Terry Stewart and wife Shannon of Scottsville, and Kevin Stewart and wife Lisa of Adolphus, a sister-in-law, Jan Stewart of Scottsville, 2 nephews, Devin Stewart and wife Kara of E-Town, and Logan Stewart and wife Kayla of Scottsville, and a great-grandniece, Abby Stewart. Services for Herman Leon Stewart will be held at 2 o'clock Wednesday at the Goad Funeral Home. Visitation is from 1 until 1:45 Wednesday at the funeral home. Expressions of sympathy can take the form of donations for funeral expenses. Graveside services for Edward Lewis Jewell, age 79, of Cave City, will be at 1 o'clock Wednesday at the Cosby Cemetery. Visitation from noon until the funeral hour at the cemetery. A.F. Crow & Son Funeral Home is in charge. Funeral services for Mendel Parker, 93, of Round Hill, will be at 11 o'clock Wednesday at the Mount Zion United Baptist Church. Burial to follow in the Hawkins Cemetery. Visitation from 10 until 7 today at Grayville Funeral Home, and then after 10 o'clock Wednesday at the church. Funeral service for Hollis Thompson, age 89, of Tompkinsville, will be today at 2 o'clock at the Beautiful Home Missionary Baptist Church. Burial to follow in the Beautiful Home Cemetery under the direction of the Bartley & Sons Funeral Home. Obituary information is available 24 hours a day free at WCLUradio.com and on the WCLU app. No login is necessary.
It's back. The traditional Christmas open house at Jeff's Country Florist and Gifts, November 4th and 5th. Bring your camera for pictures with the jolliest of elves, Santa Claus, November 4th from 4 till 7. Refreshments, door prizes, and 30% off the entire store both days. It's the traditional Christmas open house. Friday, November 4th, 9 to 7, and Saturday, November 5th, 9 to 3, at Jeff's Country Florist and Gifts, 4911 Scottsville Road in Glasgow.
Let's get to know our Barron County attorney, Catherine Thomas.
I'm a small-town country girl with traditional core values. I was raised, I suspect, in much the same way as most of you. I'm a Christian, and I love Jesus, and I'm raising my daughter to do the same. I have no greater responsibility nor greater joy than being Avery's mom. I love my family and cherish the time spent with them. I teach children's worship each Sunday. I'm active in my child's school and have served on the site-based decision-making council for her school each year. I live by the golden rule. I'm a strict parent. Just ask my daughter. And I have very high expectations of her, though those expectations are none higher than those I set for myself. These principles guide me each day as your Barron County attorney. I'm proud of the record that I've set over the last 4 years, and I humbly ask for your continued support and your vote as your Barron County attorney.
Paid for by Catherine Thomas, Barron County attorney.
Hey, why don't we give away some tickets early this morning? The early bird gets the ticket. Not one, but 2 tickets. Not to any old show, but to the big show. We're talking about the Bobby Driver Memorial Scholarship event that's coming up this Saturday. I got a couple of tickets. These right here, I can tell you right where they're going to be. They're going to be on row C, seats 2 and 3. Now, those are fine seats. If you're the 5th caller at 651-9149 or 800-956-1023, then you're going to get to go down there and see what a show it's going to be. 7 o'clock Saturday night. The 5th caller, phones are ringing, so I'll tell you more about it, but let me answer the phones right now.
It's fall, and that means football. Yes! Our favorite teams are ready to play. It's also time to make sure you have the fastest internet. SCRTC has internet speeds up to 1 gig for fiber customers. And don't miss your favorite team this season when they play on TV. Ask about SCRTC's digital cable, including sports package, which is now streaming with the MyStream TV app. Now, go cheer on your favorite team this football season and let SCRTC keep you in the game with internet, phone, TV, and security this season. Yes!
Protect your investment in your clothes and your image by having your clothes professionally dry cleaned at Key Cleaners in Glasgow. The Catron family has years of experience in caring for the most delicate of garments, as well as drapes and shears, spreads and comforters, with convenient hours of 6:45 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and Saturday 8 till 1. Key 1-hour cleaners, Happy Valley Road, Glasgow, where we accept Visa and MasterCard.
5th time I picked up the phone, Stephanie McClellan was up and running full speed this morning. How you doing, Stephanie?
I'm doing great.
It's are you feeling like this could be your lucky day?
It seems to be.
These are great tickets, too. You know, this Bobby Driver Memorial Scholarship event, this is the 14th year for it. And certainly...
Yes, I go every year.
Oh, you do? Well, my goodness,
yes,
you've won tickets. So you know how good this event is.
Right.
It's not a halfway done event at all. This is
Right, it's a great event.
It really is. And see, you're in addition to being a lucky winner, you can kind of give a testimonial for everybody else to go out there and get their tickets for sure. Isn't that right, Stephanie?
Right, it's always a great show.
Doors open at 6 o'clock, shows at 7. Tickets are only $12. The phone number if you want to call and get one today is, or 2 or 3 or 10, is 361-2101. You can go online at historicplaza.com. And, of course, a lot of big-time entertainment is going to be this Saturday night, and so I appreciate it. And Stephanie McClellan, thank you for tuning in this morning, and thanks for being so lucky, okay?
Thank you, Henry.
You have a good day. Bye-bye. Stephanie McClellan, that's right. She wins 2 tickets to go to the Big Bobby Driver Memorial Scholarship Fund. It's very well done, and I'm sure that will be the case this Saturday night. Get your tickets. Now, we're talking about Key 1 Hour Cleaners sponsoring the weather, and certainly a warm week ahead. Partly sunny and 69. Tonight, cloudy and 52. Cloud cover on Wednesday, gradually becoming sunny, high of 70. Looks like Wednesday night clear and 46, and then Thursday sunshine and 74. We managed to squeeze out just a few little drops of rain yesterday, which kind of, I guess, officially made it Halloween, 0.03. Quarter of an inch of rain fell up around Louisville and some of the counties close to Jefferson yesterday, but down here we're a little drier. 30-11 on the barometer, 99% humidity, southwest winds at a couple of miles an hour. It's 56 WCLU. Let's get caught up on ag.
U.S. corn and soybean harvest activity continued to move forward over the past week. Hello, I'm Kellen Havikin with Ag Headline News on Brownfield. Rain did delay activity in parts of the Midwest and Plains, but that's helped replenish soil moisture and provide a slight boost to river levels, and more will be needed in many areas. The USDA says 76% of corn is harvested compared to the 5-year average of 64%, and 88% of soybeans are in compared to 78% on average. I'll have more news coming up next.
Hello everyone, this is Joe and Rachel Dotson from Best One Tire in Glasgow.
We wanted to personally thank you for supporting our tire and repair business at 100 Shawn Lane.
Many of our customers come to us for ag and truck tire, but did you know we are capable of serving any size car or pickup?
With over 300 stores behind us, our buying power means we can pass on to you the very best pricing in our area.
We have many tires and tubes in stock, and we can do alignments on just about anything that rolls.
I was raised in Metcalfe County. After being away for a few years, Joe and I brought our family back to the area, and nothing brings us greater pleasure than servicing our neighbors when they are broke down in the field or on the road. We are here for you. We want to help you by taking the stress out of buying your next tires. We will work with any budget, anytime.
Come in and find out why we are the fastest growing tire company in Glasgow. We love this business. We love this town. Pretty soon you will be coming to our new store out on Highway 90 right here in Glasgow.
Best One Tire and Service, creating one raving fan at a time.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration is predicting that a La Nina climate pattern will return for a 3rd consecutive year. Eric Snodgrass with Nutrient Ag Solutions says La Nina conditions could benefit growers this fall.
The good news is that while La Nina is strong right now, in fall that actually tends to give us better moisture.
A Nebraska farmer recently convicted of crop insurance frauds, reminding farmers to avoid misrepresenting crop losses. Ross Nelson says yields on a 2015 crop were below the trend line.
When it came time to report bushels, I misrepresented the production on that farm. Basically lied to the insurance company.
And a looming railroad strike could have devastating consequences on growers harvesting crops and relying on transportation. Mike Steenhook with the Soy Transportation Coalition says it would impact farmer profitability.
They are often the recipients of the consequences of that in the form of a lower price at point of sale or a more negative basis.
I'm Kellen Havikin on Brownfield Ag News.
I already had my associate degree, but I always knew that I wanted to earn my bachelor's. Indiana Tech made it possible, even while I was working a full-time job.
Indiana Tech has quality, affordable degree programs to advance your career and the personalized support that helps you succeed. We have in-demand programs in areas like business, healthcare, information technology, cybersecurity, engineering, criminal justice, and many more.
The online classes were great, and the professors were always there to help. And the connections I made along the way still influence and inspire me in my daily work. I'd tell anyone thinking about college to enroll at Indiana Tech today. I'm so glad I made the choice, and I'll be back to earn my master's too.
Take the next step towards your bright future. Learn more today how Indiana Tech helps busy working adults advance their careers at online.indianatech.edu.
Registration for the next class session ends November 11th.
So it's fixed now? Yes. All right. Thank you. All right. Well, we had a little bit of 2 or 3 things on the air at once, but we think we're down to 1. So just double check that and make sure that we are only talking one thing at a time. And when doing so, because we have, we have a whole lot of information, and we are always on a time squeeze around here. So let us know if we are trying to do 2 things at once right there. Anyway, appreciate everybody letting us know, and we should be back to, I guess for lack of a better term, normal around here, should that actually be an actual thing that happens. Let me get over here right now and talk about some birthday folks. 56 degrees, 6:39, first day of November. That's my brother's birthday. Sam Royce is having his big birthday here on the first day of November. Also, Benjamin Carter. Benjamin is turning 22 today. I hope he's tuned in up in Louisville this morning to hear his happy birthday. It is Avery Prophet Burks. That's right, Avery Prophet Burks is having a birthday, and her Aunt Karen called in to make sure that we knew that it was her birthday today. How about a sweet 16 going out to Ian Mannion? Happy 16th birthday, Ian Mannion. Karen Boggs has a birthday. Brian King has a birthday today, too. It's Richard Botts. Larry Alexander. Twin brothers Danny and David Simmons. Your sister called up, boys, to make sure that you were on the birthday list today, both of you. Perry Brantley has a birthday today, too. Did I tell you Brian King had a birthday? Yeah, or has a birthday? I did, I think. 651-9149-800-956-1023 and online here at WCLUradio.com. Well, it is by special request today, Larry Alexander Day. Let's go ahead and call it Larry Kaywood Alexander Day here on the radio. If you happen to see Larry around, pat him on the back, wish him a very happy birthday, and remind him he's good as gold from WCLU and a little taste of Texas. For boy, do they know how to celebrate. Every day, it's a celebration. It's the reason why people just love putting on the pause button and going to Texas for whatever celebration they might have. Archives coming up.
Over the past 8 years, Michael Hell has fostered growth for the youth within our community. He's provided over 100 high school students with valuable job experience at Jackie Browning Park. Students learn skills of teamwork and leadership that are needed for the workforce. Judge Hell worked closely with local schools to implement a program that endorsed over 30 internships. Interns worked alongside leaders in tourism, economic authority, and the Judge Executive's office. Michael Hell humbly asks for your vote this November so that more opportunities can continue for the next generation in Barron County.
Paid for by Michael Hale.
When there's work to be done, you get to it. And Joseph A. Wade Incorporated is here to help. They repair and make hydraulic hoses and repair hydraulic cylinders. If there's a problem, the Joseph A. Wade hydraulic team will help you find a solution. They're also a distributor for Croyle products. Plus, black and orange nitrile gloves are back in stock. Locally owned and operated, Joseph A. Wade Incorporated. Here to help since 1985. Located in the curve of Industrial Drive in Glasgow.
All right, we've got Mr. Sam Terry on the phone because the archives are on the air. Sam, we have ripped the page on another month. And November is jumping in here full steam ahead. How you doing this morning, sir?
I'm well. How are you today, Henry?
I'm doing good, but I need one more drink of this hot coffee before we jump in here. We always, we're always doing 2 things at once around here, so the coffee keeps us at least in the same direction. Did you have a happy Halloween, did you?
I certainly did. Hope you did, too.
I did. It's I don't know, it's just a fun holiday. I just have always enjoyed Halloween, and I was just in the hats off department. I was coming to work this morning pretty early, and I was following the City of Glasgow street sweeper coming down South Green Street, sweeping up any refuse that might have been left from all the trick-or-treaters on South Green Street. I thought that was pretty impressive to, let everybody have the fun. But they got out early there with the street sweeper and cleaned up South Green Street. So it might look like nothing happened, but it was a happening place for sure. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, it certainly was.
All right, and actually we've got Halloween in the news from 100 years ago. This was the first day of November in the Glasgow Republican, and it's about a Halloween party. And it goes as follows here from November of 1922. 100 years ago, the Halloween party given in honor of the seniors at Cave City School was an enjoyable affair. The new auditorium looked spooky enough when long witches, short witches, big ghosts, little ghosts, real skeletons, and the devil himself in attire appeared upon the scene. Wow, what an event that was. Mr. C.M. Reynolds, of course, had to cap the climax by wearing his daughter's dress, thereby fooling numerous young gallants who no doubt poured secrets in their father's ear that were meant for their daughter alone. Now that's Halloween fun. It says here that after a witch's program of music and reading, they all repaired to another room where 80 apples were hung on strings. Here all fell upon their knees and ate the forbidden fruit, after which they had to pass through the Garden of Eden. After the fall, all joined hands. The lights were turned off. They were told to step high to avoid falling into the pit. They were led into another room where an electric current was turned on, and never before did so many witches receive a shock. They seemed to forget the high lift and the feat with the surprising shock from the jumping and the screaming that you would have thought they had not only stepped onto a bottomless pit, but that they were feeling the effects of fire and brimstone. This sounds really scary. Games of different kinds followed, and at 11 o'clock refreshments were served. All went home before midnight, each wearing a happy, tired look that was pleasant to see. My goodness, Cave City School, they put on a heck of a Halloween event over there, didn't they?
They certainly did. 100 years ago, they had the new school building, and they were putting it to use.
Yeah, and
wow.
They had something they wanted to show off, and boy, did they! They even had the devil himself there in 1922. I would like to hear more about how they had used that electric current to shock people. That, of course, that was in the infancy of electricity here in 1922. So hopefully there were some safety issues involved there. Let's go to 1932. We've got a really neat story in the Glasgow Republican here, Sam, for about the 4-H Club's radio program. That's right. A national radio hookup will carry the annual 4-H Achievement Day program to every county in the United States on Saturday, November the 5th. All arrangements have been made for Barron County 4-H members to meet at 10:30 in the morning in the Circuit Courtroom in Glasgow to give their program. A radio will be arranged to pick up the national program from Washington. I'm going to tell you, 1932, sometimes we have trouble getting on the air on a ball game on a Friday night around here. In 1932, I can only imagine about the national radio hookup that they pulled off here for the 4-H radio program across the nation in 1932. What about that, Sam?
That's fairly impressive.
It is indeed, and they certainly 4-H Club has always been strong for a lot of different reasons. Some little technicality is not going to slow them down at all. That was 1932. 1942, we got some marriage news here. The marriage of Miss Juanita Johnson and Sergeant Everett Leon Shorty Denton took place Wednesday, November the 4th in Bowling Green. The bride is the daughter of Mrs. Terry Johnson of Columbia Avenue and a member of the junior class of Glasgow High School. Sergeant Denton is the son of Mrs. Faye Denton and is stationed at Columbia, South Carolina, where he returned to his duties today. Mrs. Denton will remain here with her mother for the present. But nonetheless, 1942, some nuptials there for some local, well-thought-of folks there, is published in the Glasgow Republican.
Always nice to read those stories.
Oh, it is. It really is. And they, you think about it. Starting off, here we had a soldier serving his country and a young girl, a junior in high school, in love and wanted to get married. They made it happen, and then she's staying here with her mama, and he went back to the service. But it was a moment that they revered, I am sure. All right, 1952, the Christmas seal sale set. This was pretty new news back here in 1952, but arrangements are underway for the 46th annual Christmas seal sale to provide money for fighting tuberculosis. It was announced this week by Mrs. Carl Walbert, the president of the Glasgow Senior Women's Club, sponsors of the campaign. Mrs. Walbert, who is serving as the chairman for the fund appeal, and the familiar Yuletide seals will go in the mail to Barron County residents November the 17th. An absolute minimum of $1,500 is being sought this year. Serving with Mrs. Walbert on the committee are in charge Mrs. J.H. Tulla, Mrs. Layman Hammer, Miss Emma Likens, Mrs. Hollis Norris, Mrs. Howell Pettigo, and Miss Beulah Barber. Those are some familiar names of get-it-done kind of gals, Sam, in our history from 1952. Christmas seals, making a big difference.
A good cause.
That's right, and, you know, had some good ladies in charge of that in 1952. How about some more Halloween news here from 1962? We certainly had a whole lot of information leading up to these events. Now we're having some good news coverage of them, too. This was in the Glasgow Times the first day of November of 1962, a Halloween birthday party. On Sunday afternoon, Deborah and Ricky Richardson celebrated their 7th and 5th birthdays with a birthday party at the home of their parents, Mr. and Ms. Charles Richardson, Jr. The house was decorated in black cats, witches, pumpkins, and a goblin flying out from the doorway. The guests arrived in Halloween costume, and games in keeping with the season were played. Here's the following guests that were coming to this 1962 Halloween party. The following guests were present: David Francis, Jimmy Lou and Kathy Strader, Dennis and Oshel Ray Tuck, Charlotte Richardson, Mrs. Charles Terry Hogan, Mrs. Jimmy Strader, Miss Gay Martin, Mr. and Ms. Wendell Francis, Mr. and Ms. Oshel Tuck, Mrs. Dana Richardson, and Glover Edwards. An all-star cast coming to that big Halloween party there in 1962, Sam.
Certainly sounds like it.
That's right. Had that goblin flying out of the door. 1962 it was. 1972, the big news here this day on the first day of November was that John Major was named the new plant superintendent for the new Eaton plant. Another one of the wonderful industries that has served our community well over a great number of years, and certainly good to see that they had a good gentleman named as the new plant manager in 1972. And of course that entire facility has been repurposed and is given back even yet out there in the former Eaton location, Dana location. And I think that's something to brag about for sure. 1982, how about some sports news, Sam? We got New Salem and Company winning the Division I Volleyball League. Mike Taylor, Freddie Rigdon, Mike Lawson, Tommy Thomerson, Sharon Taylor, Jenny Howell, Pam Atwell, and Bonnie Haynes. No wonder they won. That was Division I. Those are some volleyball stars right there from the 1980 team, Sam. New Salem and Company in the Volleyball League. And they had a good time, I'm sure, too. 1992. This was in the Glasgow Times. In the archives, Joe Dean Sr., who is a journeyman lineman for the Glasgow Electric Plant Board, recently celebrated 30 years of service. Now, Joe Dean, I'm sure, could have told you a great number of talking about changes in technology over those 30 years that he was celebrated as a journeyman lineman there for the Glasgow EPB, going back to its infancy.
Without a doubt, and aren't we grateful for all of those linemen at Glasgow Electric Plant Board and Farmers Rural Electric who keep us all running.
Indeed, they get called out on the worst of situations, and to make the best out of it, I can say for sure they do that. This was always an exciting time, even though this is a little bit late for it to be an exciting time. But in the progress of 2002, local tobacco markets were beginning to receive tobacco as of November the 7th through the 11th. The auction in Horse Cave, Kentucky, at Kentucky Tobacco Sales on Highway 218, that is going to be held on November the 27th and December the 11th. Now, it's just good to read that story, even though it used to be an everyday thing. They had sales just about every day, but here they were going to be taking in tobacco for a week, and they were going to start having a sale toward the end of the month. But nonetheless, it's a part of our heritage, even though it was slowing down. But it was, I don't know, it's just whenever I read about tobacco sales, I get excited because of remembering how wonderful it has been for this community.
Well, it certainly has, and you know, I've been reading ahead, Henry, and we've got some fascinating stories from the past coming up in the next few days about tobacco and its importance in Barron County. So,
Indeed.
We'll look forward to sharing that.
That's right. And if you know, every time we have a little run of things about tobacco, I learned something. I thought I had lived through a lot of that, but I didn't really understand a lot that was happening at the time. So hopefully everybody can tune in and hear more about tobacco's influence in our community. Speaking of influence in the community, it was 10 years ago this day that the South Central Kentucky Cultural Center held its Volunteer Recognition Awards banquet. Now listen to these all-stars that got awards for working with the museum: Melba Richardson, Kristen Bale, Sheila Williams, Oliver, June Jackson, and Linda Wells. How's that help you understand where we are today, Sam Terry?
Well, it certainly does, because that particular group did yeoman's work, and still do in some cases, to do whatever it takes to keep the cultural center running.
That's right. And you know, still, what I'm going to tell you is that for the most part, you see most of those gals down there when anything big is happening, because they have sunk a great deal of their life into it. All right, that's the archives today, Sam. You say you've been reading ahead. Well, we're going to hopefully catch up with you a little bit more tomorrow as the archives continue. Thank you for all your hard work in helping get this together, helping everybody understand it, too. The rest of the story, as Uncle Paul Harvey used to say. Sam Terry is good about bringing that, making us understand some of the way things happened around here. And I hope you have a good rest of your day, sir.
You too, Henry.
Sam Terry, he's on the air in behalf of Joseph A. Wade Industrial Hardware Services.
Hughes & Coleman is proud to be the official injury lawyers of the Tennessee Titans. To celebrate, Hughes & Coleman is giving away 2 free club-level tickets to every Titans home game and suite tickets to select Titans games. All you have to do is go to titans.hughesandcoleman.com, titans.hughesandcoleman.com, and register for your chance to win. Valid for residents 18 years or older in Tennessee and Kentucky. See titans.hughesandcoleman.com for official rules. Principal Office, Bowling Green, Kentucky. When you've been injured in a car wreck, you need a team that will fight for you, just like the Titans do on Sundays. The team at Hughes & Coleman Injury Lawyers will lay it on the line and handle the insurance company to make sure you get the most money possible. They've recovered over $1 billion for their clients in Tennessee and Kentucky, and they'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve. Hughes & Coleman, the official injury lawyers of the Tennessee Titans. Call 800-800-4600. Principal Office, Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Highland Pharmacy on Rogers Road in Glasgow has been a community favorite since 2012, and there's a reason for that. They consistently offer a wide range of customized services, quality care, and a commitment to you. Over-the-counter COVID tests are available and can be billed to most insurance carriers. You can also receive the COVID vaccine at Highland Pharmacy. Register at highland-pharmacy.com. That's highland-pharmacy.com. Highland Pharmacy, a community favorite since 2012.
You know, running for mayor of Glasgow really has nothing to do with politics. It's not about who you know or what you have. It's about stepping up to take care of what we have while we expand the opportunities to every citizen in Glasgow. I want people to never forget what we have been blessed with and do our part to continue our community pride. I'm Henry Royce, and I want to lead the effort to get us all on the same page and to make our home a player in the growth of Southern Kentucky.
The Glasgow Police Department, you know, we strongly believe in outreach and getting involved with our community.
Honestly, we're doing more than just out in the community writing tickets. We're here for the community when they call for help.
We deal with medical patients, we deal with all kinds of sorts of things and all kinds of different people.
I enjoy getting the calls of, hey, I need gas, can you bring me a gas can?
We're always involved in stuff and just trying to invest in our community and make it better.
Glasgow's always been my home. This is where I was born and raised, and this is where I'll stay.
Good morning live. It's about a minute before 7 o'clock. Still ahead, we're going to be playing trivia here on WCLU, so get ready for that. Make sure that thinking cap is fitting good. You know, first day of the month, everybody's eligible. You can win one time per family per month, so let's get ready for that. Coming up, the invitation is going out for all former military service members. Encouraged to come out to the Feeder Restaurant in Horse Cave on the first Tuesday of each month, from 6 until 8 p.m. That would be today. It's for a veteran's call. You can enjoy fellowship, storytelling, and networking at the Feeder Restaurant 6 till 8 tonight. Also, the Caverna Kiwanis Club has their bi-monthly meetings on the first and third Tuesdays. That's going to be at 6 p.m. tonight at the Caverna High School Library. Reminding you again about the American Red Cross needing volunteers for November the 11th and 12th to help install free smoke alarms in Barron County, along with the help of the fire departments between the hours of 9 and 4 on the days of November 11th and 12th. You can volunteer by calling them up here at 2707-15-1129. Leave a message. Speaking of veterans, don't forget, coming up next hour, we're going to be talking with Jimmy Dixon with the Barron County Veterans Association about our veterans celebration activities that are going to be coming up, so you don't want to miss that. A lot of folks always look forward to learning more about our veterans ceremonies. And let's see, we have a temperature reading outside of, what does that say right there? Hold on, it says 56 degrees here in WCLU. Don't forget, as we get closer to, we thought we were going to be closer to cold weather. We're going away from it right now. But Jimmy Holloway down at Glasgow Building Supply still want you to know that sorghum molasses is in vogue down there. It's right inside the front door. You walk in and you say, man, wouldn't that be good on a cold morning? Well, yes, we're at 56 and we're going to 69 today. But you know what? I bet you a 56-degree temperature outside would make for a real tasty biscuit with some sorghum molasses on it. So when it comes to looking for good ideas, come to Glasgow Building Supply, the very latest in building materials, the very up-to-date. So many folks use Glasgow Building Supply in order to stock up on what they need for, maybe it's an addition, maybe they're starting from scratch, maybe they're doing some repairs. Whatever you've got going on in your household, let Glasgow Building Supply help you with it. And that includes breakfast and a sorghum molasses on a biscuit, too.
Transparency, fiscal responsibility, innovation, and leadership are all things that Barron Countyans need and deserve from their judge executive. And those are the exact things that Jamie Bewley-Byrd plans to bring to the office.
Hi, I'm Jamie Bewley-Byrd, and I am running to represent you, the people of Barron County, as your next Barron County Judge Executive. Let's work together, grow business, improve quality of life, and celebrate the awesome community that we are a part of. I'm Jamie Bewley-Byrd, and I humbly ask for your vote and support.
Paid for by Jamie Bewley-Byrd for Barron County Judge Executive.
56 degrees, WCLU.
CBS News Brief. Chicago police say 3 children.
Wait a minute. We're not getting ready for the news brief there. Who's working in New York today? It's Deborah Rodriguez, isn't it? Hang on, Deborah. We will get you taken care of here just in a moment. I want to get over here, though, and get ready to play trivia. Little Caesars says, come on down and have a pizza. That's right. That's what they do at Little Caesars. They sell pizza to a lot of folks, and they fix it to where that you can enjoy a tasty pizza. And you can actually have a tasty pizza just by answering the trivia question correctly here this morning. So listen carefully. 651-9149, 800-956-1023. Let's just look at the out front window there, out on the Glasgow Square. It looks dark out there. We're in here working hard. We don't pay too close attention to the sunrise, but it's not quite anywhere near sun up yet. Now, let's get over here and talk about trivia. 651-9149, 800-956-1023. That's the number to call if you can answer this trivia question correctly. Quite simply, What is the longest river in Europe? What's the longest river in Europe? Do you know? You can win a pizza if you do.
The Danube.
No, it's not right. Well, the longest river in Europe. Trivia.
Good morning. Is it the Volga River?
Say it again.
The Volga River?
That's exactly what it is. Who is this speaking?
All right. This is Megan Rennick.
Hello, Megan Rennick. Where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Oakland.
Oakland, Kentucky. Isn't that a beautiful place?
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah, I just love Oakland, Kentucky. Okay, Megan.
I do too.
Okay, Megan Rennick. So how do you know about the Volga River?
I'm a high school English teacher and high school librarian, so I have to know a little bit about everything.
My goodness, Megan. And where do you teach?
I'm at Allen County Scottsville High School. I'm the librarian.
Well, I tell you what, I bet it's an exciting time. Did y'all have a big Halloween party at ACS yesterday?
Oh, yes, sir. Teachers and children got to dress up and have a costume contest. It was very exciting.
Bunch of scary patriots running around, right?
Oh, yes.
Well, the Volga River is 2,293 miles long, Megan, but it's all in one country. It's all in Russia.
Yes, sir.
If that gives you an idea of how big Russia is, apparently it's a very apparently it's a beautiful river. I mean, you know, we don't hear a lot about it, but I mean, I could probably learn a lot of it from you. And anything you couldn't tell me.
I don't know about that, but I know Russia's pretty large.
It is. We might come over to the library at ACS and look some more stuff up. You think, Megan?
You come on over anytime, sir. You're more than welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, if you'll hold on, I got to get your address so we can mail you this pizza coupon. Okay, Megan? If you hold on right there, I'll be right there with you, okay? Megan Rennick, that's right. She knows the longest river in Europe. It's the Volga River. That's the Volga, the Volga River. 2,293 miles long. And see there, it's sometimes it pays to pay attention at work because she's a librarian and an English teacher at Allen County. She knows what the long river is. Thank you, Megan. We'll play tomorrow. Maybe it'll be you that comes through here and tells us what all big is happening. Stand by for the morning edition.
CBS News Brief. Chicago police say 3 children were among more than a dozen people wounded in a drive-by shooting Halloween night. Bystander Rick Dugan says he rushed to help.
I just saw everyone crying and people down on the ground, and I just called it in, and then I just went to try to help people.
No word on suspects. San Francisco prosecutors say the man who attacked Nancy Pelosi's husband with a hammer had hoped to tie up the House Speaker, interrogate her, then break her kneecaps if he didn't like her answers. CBS's Jonathan Vigliotti.
Sources do tell CBS News that a list of names of other potential targets was recovered here from that scene early Friday morning.
Survey finds 43% say their finances have taken a dive since 2020. Bankrate's Mark Hamrick.
Older adults, men, and Republicans whose finances have gotten worse over the past 2 years are more likely to place at least a moderate amount of blame on President Biden.
CBS News Brief.
Injuries and illnesses that require immediate attention can happen anytime, any day of the week. That's why TJ Urgent Care is open daily, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Their team of doctors and nurse practitioners are highly trained in caring for your family's urgent health care needs. With on-site lab, radiology, and pharmacy, TJ Urgent Care provides the ultimate convenience. No appointment is needed, and TJ Urgent Care is open 7 days a week. TJ Urgent Care, located at the TJ Health Pavilion in Glasgow. TJ Urgent Care, total local care.
Attention home buyers and homeowners. If you're shopping for a mortgage or considering refinancing your home, call one of Kentucky's top mortgage lenders, South Central Bank. Recognized as the area's best mortgage company, they're ready to help you walk through the borrowing process, step by step, with experienced lenders and a full range of loan solutions that suit your budget. South Central Bank can help make your dreams become reality. Contact them today. You can even apply online at southcentralbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Well, we're saying a very good day to you from the newsroom of WCLU. It's Tuesday, November 1st. I'm Brennan Crane, 7:08 and 56 degrees. Welcome into WCLU News, broadcasting from Glasgow, Kentucky. We're glad that you joined us this morning. In the way of that weather forecast, we've talked a bit about it already. A warm-up is in store, 69 degrees today, partly sunny, and by this evening, increasing clouds once again. But by Wednesday, looks like a high near 72 for your south central Kentucky forecast. In news this hour, a burn ban in Barron County has been lifted. The ban was instated on October 5th amid dry conditions across the area. Many counties across south central Kentucky declared similar bans in early October. Periods of rain moved through the area last week and Sunday. Those appear to have improved conditions, which led to the rescission of that order. The Kentucky wildlife hazard season, it remains active, however. Do remember that. It lasts through December 15th and places limited restrictions on burning. And again, that's statewide. That's everyone. The hazard season, it prohibits burning within 150 feet of any woodland or brushland from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., except when the ground is covered in snow. The Glasgow Independent Schools Board of Education is slated to meet this evening in a special called session. That's beginning at 6 p.m. there at the central office. Now, the only thing on the agenda tonight for this special called meeting is a closed session, and they cite state law that allows them to go into closed session for discussions of proposed litigation involving the Board of Education. They also have on their agenda to exit that closed session and then possibly take action based upon some of that discussion in that closed session. Now, again, we're simply deducing, but a few weeks ago, WCLU News discovered that former Superintendent Keith Hale was paid out over for his accrued sick days. He was paid out 100% of those sick days that he had accrued. State law, it only allows that person to be paid out 30% maximum. So again, Mr. Hale was paid certainly more than he was supposed to, and all of that money there was from the school system. So it appears at this point the school system is working on something to either litigate to get that money back or again go in some sort of direction here. It's a little unclear. Again, this is closed session discussion. We don't have a lot of information. We're only shaping our deduction based off of some emails that we received from the Kentucky Department of Education, which included an email chain with correspondence from some attorneys with the Elpo law firm in Bowling Green to the attorney here in the Glasgow Independent School System, which is Mr. Tom Davis. We'll have information for you with this meeting. And again, the public is invited to attend that meeting with the exception of that closed session. The board will go away out of the public site and hearing and conduct that closed session. And in the way of school news, Barron County Schools announcing yesterday that Logan Brooks is among the top 3 teachers in the state to be chosen for Special Education Teacher of the Year. Ms. Brooks is the teacher for hearing impaired children throughout the district. She provides assistance to students and content teachers to ensure hearing impaired students experience success. Barron County Schools says the Special Education Teacher of the Year recognition, it's sponsored by the Kentucky Department of Education Office of Special Education and Early Learning and the Kentucky Council for Exceptional Children. The winner of the 2022 Kentucky Special Education Teacher of the Year, they'll be announced at the KYCEC Conference on November 21st during the general session there at the Galt House Hotel in Louisville. The 2022 Kentucky Special Education Teacher of the Year winner, they'll be receiving $500 and a scholarship to attend the Special Education Legislative Summit in Washington. Each of those finalists, they'll be recognized as well and honored with a cash prize of $250 awarded from the Kentucky Center for Council for Exceptional Children. So again, we've rolled over to November 1st now. We're looking ahead toward that November 21st. We should have some information for you about whether Ms. Brooks is donned with that title or not. Gas prices in west central Kentucky this week, they're 3 cents lower at $3.30 per gallon. That's according to AAA East Central's gas price report. The average price this time last week, $3.33. This time last year, $3.09. Across the region, Bowling Green at $3.31. E-Town, $3.13, one of the lowest. In fact, it is. Louisville, $3.58. Owensboro, $3.20, and Paducah is at $3.29 per gallon. Now, the trend analysis looks like tepid domestic gas demand and shifting global oil prices. They are the main reasons for this slight dip. Today's national average, it's 3 cents lower than a month ago and 36 cents more than a year ago. According to data from the Energy Information Administration, gas demand rose slightly from 8.68 million barrels per day to 8.93 million barrels per day last week. That total domestic gasoline stocks, they also decreased last week as well. And although gasoline demand is up slightly, it remains nearly 400,000 barrels lower than this time last year. And again, we want to remind you about the fact that the rain out there this morning looks like you might have a little bit of a drizzle out there. Lots of cloud cover this morning. Roadways still could be wet, especially in some of those more lower elevations where water might be pooling or under some trees, of course. But again, looks like we'll be clearing out of that, hopefully. And by the end of the week, again, your Friday forecast looking good. 76 degrees, sunny. A little bit different from what we would expect here at the first week of November, but nonetheless, that's the direction we're going in. 7:14, it's 56 degrees. I'm Brennan Crane. Download that WCLU radio app at the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Lots of information there. We're sending out traffic updates, news updates, and of course, submit your news tips online, WCLUradio.com. There's something we should look into, something you feel like that needs to be covered. We'll do that. Have a great day.
When we lost Frank, we lost a good friend. Father, husband, colleague, and coach. He meant a lot to all of us. Today, we had a chance to tell him that.
When someone close to you passes on, you want to commemorate their life in a special way. That's why individual requests are such an important part of our funeral services. We strive to meet your specific needs for the most fitting service for your loved ones. A.F. Crow & Son Funeral Home, a celebration of love.
Healthcare changes all the time, but at Hatchet Home Medical, we're a consistent friend to help you navigate the road to good health. We are your headquarters for all types of equipment and supplies to let you recuperate at home, and we keep up with all the changes. So let us file the paperwork for insurance reimbursement. Hatchet Home Medical's huge showroom and warehouse on Park Avenue in Glasgow lets us stock what you need, and our trained technicians are courteous and helpful when setting up and instructing you or your caretakers. We feature a 24-hour on-call phone number to help in emergencies. And remember, all healthcare professionals, Hatchet's Home Medical has the area's largest selection of nurses' uniforms and supplies, featuring the best of name brands. Whether you need a wheelchair, walker, hospital bed, or other assistive device, the name to remember is Hatchet Home Medical in the Park Avenue Shopping Center in Glasgow. Phone 651-9551.
You're listening to Good Morning Live on WCLU and on the Big Willie. We're at 56 degrees here at 7:16. Glad you're along with us today. When we flip over the page for the month of November, the big thing that everybody starts thinking about is Veterans Day. And we're thinking about it here at WCLU today. And it worked out really good because we have a very special guest who wants to talk about veterans activities. And I encourage you to listen carefully because there's been one change, but then one of the big changes, Sergeant Jimmy Dixon, co-chairman of the Barron County Veterans Association, is that we're actually going to have a dinner this year. How you doing this morning, Sergeant Dixon?
It's good this morning. How about you?
I'm doing real good. I'm just looking forward to hearing from you because, we've had, to see if I can get this right, we had to take we had 2 years where we didn't have the dinner. We had 1 year where we didn't have the parade. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. COVID is kind of messed us up for the last couple of years, but now we're trying to get back on track.
Yeah, and I hats off to you and everybody involved with the Veterans Association for getting back on track as fast as we could. We got to be safe. We have a lot of folks who may have come because they're a veteran, but maybe didn't need to be in an environment where there's a whole lot of infection. But
That's true.
I think, though, that thanks to you all and a lot of volunteers, the Barron County Veterans Association is getting back into the full swing of things, and I'm glad that you are involved. I think, is Matt Mutter your co-chairman?
Yes.
Okay, and so over the years, we've worked with a whole lot of folks here, from Daryl Pickett, the late Travis Lyle, going all the way back to the late Bobby Travis, and others who have helped us promote veterans activities. And I'm glad you're with us, Jimmy, because I feel like that people are wanting to hear. First of all, let's talk about the two changes, one of which we had a parade last year, but we're having a parade this year again, but it's a different route. Is that correct?
Yes, we changed the route just a little bit. We're starting in front of Save-A-Lot instead of behind Save-A-Lot on Broadway. We're going straight down South Green Street, up around the square, and ending at the Veterans Wall at the top of the hill. Just to make it a little bit less hilly for the older veterans and a little bit flatter route.
Yeah. There's still plenty of space for you to stand and cheer on the veterans during that parade.
Yes, there's plenty of space all along the route there on both sides of the street on South Green, and we look forward to having a lot of people come out and see the parade and support our veterans.
So if you're going to be in the parade, where would you go to get started?
We'll be setting up at behind Save-A-Lot.
Okay.
There behind the church. We'll get everybody together there at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And the parade will step off at 1:30.
Okay, so 1 o'clock, be down there to get in the parade. It's going to come off at 1:30, and there's lots of room to leave the back of Save-A-Lot and go up Broadway.
Yes.
Okay, and swing around and come on back up to the square.
No. We're going to go straight up in front of Save-A-Lot.
Okay, in front of
the back of the parking lot and go out in front of Save-A-Lot.
Okay, all right. Okay, I want to make sure that I understood that for sure, because I don't want people to stand in a spot that the parade's not going to come.
No, we'll step off right there in front of Save-A-Lot, between Save-A-Lot and the church, Methodist Church, and then proceed right up to the square.
And we'll have that on the air quite a bit between now and then. But also, one of the big things that people look forward to, and I can tell you, of the many, many, many veterans that I have had the privilege of knowing, the Veterans Dinner has always been one of the biggest, most popular events that's ever been done in honor of our veterans. And there's been a 2-year hiatus because of COVID. But guess what? Sergeant Jimmy Dixon is here to tell us that it is happening this year. Is that not correct?
Yes, sir. We're back in swing this year. We'll be on November 10th. Doors will open at 6 o'clock. Dinner will start at 7. We have a guest speaker of Captain Cody Zimmerman. He's a National Guard chaplain with our State National Guard. He'll be our speaker for that event and the event at the Wall on Parade Day as well. Veterans will eat free. All guests will cost them $8.50 a plate. We want to thank you to all of our listeners who contributed to the Veterans Dinner, so we can provide them dinner for free to our veterans. We had a lot of people. We had letters go out for donations, and we had a great response from everybody, and we do appreciate it. And more is still needed. We can still use a few more dollars to help provide that. And
sure.
Whatever we don't use this year, we'll go toward next year's meal as well.
Well, now, exactly where is the Veterans Dinner going to be?
Veterans Dinner will be at the Kentucky National Guard Armory on Calvary Drive, 410, like it has been for many years from now.
Right.
We'll also be celebrating the Marine Corps birthday as well. We usually do. We'll have a cake, and we'll usually let the oldest Marine and the youngest Marine attendants do the cake cutting ceremony as well.
Okay.
And we will glad to honor them as well.
So when you talked about the doors opening, which doors are going to open? Which doors should our veterans come to out at the Armory there?
We'll come in to the side parking lot. If you're facing the Armory on the street coming in, it'll be to the left side, come in that side door right there.
I'm sure to be marked as well, but I just want to make sure everybody knows, because there's a few doors on that Armory down there, you know.
Yes, they are.
I want to make sure everybody comes to the right one. And I know that you have had a lot of predecessors who have worked really hard to make the Veterans Dinner very special, and I know that you're in hopes that a lot of folks will attend this year, because I don't know, it just doesn't feel right that we haven't had it for 2 years, but even though it was the smartest thing to do, Sergeant Dixon.
Yes, it was. And I'd like to thank Daryl Pickett, was my predecessor, current predecessor.
Yeah.
A lot of big shoes to fill in the past.
That's right.
Coming through the years. We do appreciate everybody that's been involved with this organization over the years. They've been some really outstanding individuals over the years.
Daryl's just a get-it-done sort of a guy.
Yes, he was.
And he's gotten that done. Now, let's see. If you want to, let's say if you're a person out there who wants to contribute and help with the funding of the Veterans Dinner. You said that people have been very generous, but let's say if people would like to get in on that, how's the best way that somebody can contribute to
you can send a check, if you would like, to Barron County Veterans Association, P.O. Box 386, Glasgow, Kentucky, 42141. And we'll be glad to take your donation if you'd like to send one.
You know what? I think it's wonderful because it's just we want to encourage everybody to come and be a part of the Veterans Dinner, and want to applaud all of you who've been working to get it back fired up. And I think this is going to be an excellent parade route, a nice change in the parade route as well, Jimmy.
Yes, there's a lot of good places to park there, a lot of parking lots along the route up there to the square and around the square. So we look forward to everybody showing up and cheering our veterans on.
Right, and I appreciate that. And of course, up at the Veterans Memorial Wall, what a great place for everybody, for the parade to end, but the celebration continue.
Yes, it is a good thing we have there to honor our veterans. Put plaques on the wall up there, and we'll like to continue that on as well.
And I'm so over the years watching the various celebrations, I've often thought, well, gosh, this is so great. I just hope that somebody takes the lead in keeping it going. And I wanted to personally thank you for being one of those that are taking the lead to make sure that this veterans organization honors our veterans. Hopefully we can really have a big turnout, Jimmy.
And we appreciate all your support and radio station support over the years, getting the word out to everybody too, Mr. Royce. So
well, thanks a lot. I appreciate you being here today, sir, and I hope that you have a good rest of the day, and let us know if there's any changes, and we'll keep pushing as we get closer to that November the 10th for the dinner, and of course November the 11th for the parade.
Correct.
Thank you for being here. We have Sergeant Jimmy Dixon, who is here today. He is a co-chairman of the Barron County Veterans Association. He and Matt Mutter and a lot of volunteers who are working hard to make sure that we honor our veterans. It is 7:25 and 56 degrees.
Paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps' base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve, but passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file lawsuit seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation. 800-611-3437. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-611-3437. That's 800-611-3437. Again, 800-611-3437.
This is the Kentucky News Network.
It's called the Grow Your Own program, and it's from the Kentucky Board of Education. It's designed to address the shortage of teachers in the Bluegrass State. It's all about getting high school students to understand what it takes to teach and then stoke their desire to return to their own school districts after becoming a certified teacher. Tates Creek High School student Andrew Taylor tells WKYT-TV.
We've already learned how to do lesson plans, and we have a play school here at Tates Creek, and I've already started teaching preschool students. It's helped me learn things that I wouldn't know, and it's already giving me an idea of what I will do in my future while I'm still in high school.
Fayette County schools are the latest to engage in the program. More on the University of Kentucky student who was killed over the weekend in a human stampede at a South Korean Halloween party.
In a statement on Facebook, Beechwood Independent Schools says the district is heartbroken to learn about the loss of Ann Gieske. She grew up in Fort Mitchell and graduated from Beechwood High just last year. She went on to attend the University of Kentucky and had been studying abroad in South Korea. The district says she was a student, friend, mentor, drum major in the band, and a beloved member of the Fort Mitchell community. Counseling is available for students, and plans are being made locally to honor Ann's memory in the coming days. I'm Jack Crumley.
Employees at one of Kentucky's major bourbon distilleries, Woodford Reserve in Versailles, have begun organizing to form a union. Officials with Teamsters Local 651 say employees at Woodford Reserve have contacted them to file for a union election on November 17th. Teamsters officials say the employees at Woodford are among the lowest paid workers in the bourbon industry in the Bluegrass region. They say the workers are organizing for better pay and health benefits. I'm Sean McCormick.
This is the Kentucky News Network.
This election, vote no on Amendment 2. Amendment 2 is a government mandate that would take away our individual rights. Amendment 2 is an extreme measure that bans all abortions, no exceptions. Not for the life of the mother or in the case of rape or incest. The decision to have an abortion should be made between a woman, her doctor, family, and faith. There's no telling how far politicians will go. We have to vote no on Amendment 2. Abortions in Kentucky have always been highly regulated. Abortion later in pregnancy is banned in Kentucky, and all women seeking an abortion must go through mandatory counseling. Amendment 2 puts women and families in danger. Miscarriages become fatal. Pregnancy complications can threaten a mother's life. It's why religious leaders and doctors across the state are voting no. Tell politicians Amendment 2 goes too far. On November 8th, vote no on Amendment 2.
Paid for by Protect Kentucky.
Southern Kentucky Tire Pros does more than just tires. They maximize the love of being behind the wheel. They offer top brands of tires with road hazard coverage available for 3 years at as little as $15 a tire. Plus, the Hunter Hawkeye Elite Alignment Machine is the most accurate four-wheel alignment in the area and the only rack in town that can fit dualies. Drive with confidence knowing wherever you go, Southern Kentucky Tire Pros will help take you there. Go see Foster and everyone at family-owned and operated Southern Kentucky Tire Pros, 1004 Happy Valley Road, Glasgow.
Good morning live, 729 here on WCLU. We're at 56 degrees, warmer than usual for the first week of November. Partly sunny, a high of 69. Tonight, cloudy and 52. There's a cloudy morning on tap for Wednesday, but it'll gradually become sunny, a high of 70. Wednesday night, clear and 46, and then Thursday, sunny and 74. We had 0.03 of an inch of rain last night in our rain gauge, as much as a quarter of an inch up closer to Louisville. 56 degrees. More company here. We enjoyed having Sergeant Jimmy Dixon talking about Veterans Day. And now we've got a veteran Kiwanian to join us here on the radio. We have Mr. Scott Curley, who, as we were just talking, wears a lot of hats around here, not the least of which is his very active involvement in the Glasgow Kiwanis Club. Scott, how you doing today, sir?
Doing great, Henry. Thanks for having me.
We're glad to have you here because, you know, Kiwanis is an excellent organization, but one of the things that we want to remind people of that's going to be happening, that's kind of become a tradition around here, the Kiwanis Academic Bowl. Now, we have a lot of people that listen to this program who enjoy trivia and who enjoy smart people and who enjoy how excellent our local schools seem to be doing in things like academic bowls. And I'm really impressed with the Kiwanis Club that's been keeping the academic bowl going. And I want you to, first of all, tell our audience the who, what, when, where, and why so everybody can be putting it on the calendar and get ready to count it down, Scott.
Well, we're coming back with the 29th Kiwanis Academic Bowl, and that will actually be at the Glasgow High School Auditorium on November 21st at 6 p.m.
Okay. All right. It's going to be a good event for sure. You know, that auditorium out there at Glasgow High School is really, really nice. It'll be perfect for having that academic bowl out there this year for sure.
Yes.
And I'm glad that you all are going to be getting it going. But, hey, this is the reason why it was important to get you here on the first day of November, because even though it's the 29th Academic Bowl, there's a lot of, from the planning stages, there's lots of opportunities for people to get teams involved and for sponsors to sponsor the Academic Bowl. You want to talk about that, Scott?
Absolutely. The Academic Bowl is, again, it's the 29th annual, and it's been an event where we pitted local, like business teams and then organizations, maybe some utilities involved and things like that.
Right.
So, and we've actually setting it up now to where, say, if we had the police department and the fire department, we would have some grudge matches matches going. Kiwanis and Rotary will be set up against each other and that type of thing.
Yeah.
It's a great event. Everyone has fun with it. You know, some of us get humbled a little bit from time to time with questions we don't know how to answer, but you know, it's like I said, it's a great event, a great opportunity to get out and support kids. Also, it will be broadcast on WCLU, also on EPB Channel 6, typically is where it's broadcast, or their YouTube channel. And so there are opportunities there to advertise your business, and so we're soliciting also advertising there. And those team sponsors and then also advertising are $100 a piece.
Okay. Boy, that's a bargain for sure, Scott.
Absolutely.
Now, let's stop at that point. If you want to advertise for the broadcast, or if you want to sign up a team, give me the best way to get those done.
Well, you can touch base with me at 270-670-8641. Again, my name is Scott Curley.
And he's good at answering the phone, I can tell you that, too.
Absolutely. And obviously you can text me there, too. And then you can email me at curleyconstruction@gmail.com.
Okay. Now, let's talk about this. The format of the Academic Bowl is very consistent with the types of academic competitions that our area high schools are going into. Isn't that right, Scott?
It is. People are a little bit surprised sometimes. The level of questions isn't quite as high as what they would come in contact with. But yes, it is very consistent with that. And depending on the number of teams, it will either be a double or single elimination. But obviously, we're hoping to have enough teams where it's a single elimination tournament. It takes place over one night, so obviously we have to get everyone through and give everyone an opportunity, a chance to compete.
Well, much like we were talking with Sergeant Dixon earlier, it's good to be having this kind of stuff coming back.
Absolutely.
And we need to support it wholeheartedly with as much effort as we can. So to get signed up, because I know y'all are going to be working on the brackets, aren't you?
Absolutely. Yeah, the brackets again, those will be set up, and you know, if you're a team that if you feel like you don't necessarily have a team that's probably going to be there winning there at the end, again, you'll have an opportunity to be matched up with a similar competitor out of the gate, and then have an opportunity to have some victories there.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I've always enjoyed the competition, and I don't know if they still, you know, talking about grudge matches and stuff like that. The EPB used to have those light bulb hats, you know, that they wore. They still have those?
No, they haven't actually competed over the last several years. Okay. We're actually talking to them about, you know, coming back.
Okay, well, hey. You know, they got, there's always, I just think it's so neat because if I was on a team, which I've never have been, I'd get so lost in listening to the questions, I never could come up with an answer. But other people are very good at playing the trivia game, Scott.
Yes, absolutely. You come away certainly impressed with some of the individuals competing.
Okay, so I'm asking you this out of the blue. Is there anything on social media that people, like on the Kiwanis Club, that you have a Facebook page where y'all have this advertised at all?
We haven't put it on the Facebook page yet, but we'll get ready to put it on there.
Okay, that'll be good because people want to. But the easiest thing to do is just to call Scott Curley up or text him 670-8641, and then you can get involved in cranking back up another fun event, Scott. And, of course, you all don't just pigeonhole the proceeds from this away, do you? Y'all put them to really good use.
Absolutely. Every dollar that comes in goes straight out to the academic teams at both Glasgow and Berrien County and their middle school. Their middle schools usually receive about $200 apiece, and then the rest is split amongst the high schools. Well, the last few times we've raised about $3,300, and that helps them buy supplies like buzzers and things along that line, and then also have fees to enter into competitions for themselves.
And you kind of get to see, I think it's also enjoyable because a lot of times the academic team members are up there kind of helping, you know, when we go up there broadcast stuff, we get to see some of the brightest that we have coming up who are on the academic teams and help out with, you know, setting up for the Academic Bowl too.
Yes, this couldn't be pulled off without them. They also are active in helping to write questions and things along that line too. So the Academic Bowl coaches, Todd Garrison and Letitia Hughes, are extremely active there too. They really run the event. It's just up to me to kind of get the night organized and get everyone to come in and participate.
You don't think they're going to throw a stumper in for you if you're on the Kiwanis team?
Well, they actually, I am not on the Kiwanis team, and part of the reason that I kind of MC the event is so that I won't be on the Kiwanis team.
I like that. Hey, now I know why I've been an MC for all these things, too. It just makes sense. Scott, thanks a lot for coming up here. Thank you for all that you're involved in with the community, including the Kiwanis Club. And, okay, some things. We're going to get it on the calendar. It's the 21st day of November at 6 p.m., a new location. It's going to be at the Glasgow High School in the auditorium there. And you could go ahead and sign your team up as early as today. But certainly get to work today or when you get church or maybe on Wednesday night. Let's get some teams together and let's have some fun, okay?
Sounds great.
Anything else we didn't talk about that we need to?
No, I think we've covered it. Appreciate it, Henry.
Okay,
thanks for all you do for the community.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Scott Curley is here wearing his Kiwanis Club hat today. It's the Academic Bowl. It's coming back November the 21st.
Is it acceptable to go to Mickey D's just for a drink? Of course it is. But good luck leaving with just a drink. It's more than a drink. It's a Mickey D's drink.
Need a refreshing pick-me-up? Get a small soft drink, sweet tea, or hot coffee for just $1. Or a small iced coffee for $1.59. Only at McDonald's. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
It was a Friday. We were wrapping up a slow night on highway patrol when the call came in. Deer Patrol, Buck speaking. Slow down, Tom, slow down. What's the problem? What? You hit a deer and Southern Kentucky Collision is going to give you a free turkey? Well, that sounds like a great idea. I'm sorry you don't agree, but Southern Kentucky Collision knows that deer do a ton of damage to vehicles. Kentucky's ranked 4th in the country in number of deer collisions this time of year. A free turkey when you bring your vehicle to Southern Kentucky Collision for repair of the deer damage is a great way to turn your luck around. Well, not your luck around. Southern Kentucky's Collision's respected work is well documented. So if you hit a deer, don't be a turkey. Get a turkey. Bring your vehicle to Southern Kentucky Collision. The 8th annual Hit a Deer, Get a Turkey event at Southern Kentucky Collision, Industrial Drive, Glasgow. No real deer or turkeys were harmed in the making of this commercial.
Hi, I am Jamie Bewley-Byrd, and I'm running to be your next Barron County Judge Executive. I'm running because I believe that Barron County has even brighter days ahead. I believe that Barron County's good old days are in front of us and not behind us. Barron County is where I run my own business and where my husband and I have made a home for our family. It's time to elect a leader ready to make changes and truly champion all of Barron County. I'm Jamie Bewley-Byrd, and I humbly ask for your support and your vote for the future of Barron County.
But let me get over here and get the birthdays caught up. Get the birthday song up here. And let's see. Betty Wright. We know Betty. She's a nice gal, and we hope that Betty has a nice birthday because she's on the birthday list today. Avery Prophet Burks. Avery, your Aunt Karen called up to wish you a happy birthday today. It's Ian Mannion, who is turning 16. It's Benjamin Carter, who is turning 22. We've got Karen Boggs in there on the list. We have a set of twins. It's the Simmons twins. And your sister called up, Danny and David, to wish y'all a happy birthday. My brother, Sam Royce, has a birthday today. Mr. Perry Brantley celebrates. Larry K. Wood Alexander of WCLU Sports fame is having a big birthday today, too. It's Richard Botts. It's Brian King on the birthday list today as well. Congratulations. It's all birthdays so far, but there is room for anniversaries. And remember, next hour we're drawing for a winner of a birthday cake from Dairy Queen. This is an absolutely tremendous prize that people don't realize what a neat deal it is, but when somebody wins one, they get all excited about it. So let us know about the anniversaries. Let us know about the birthdays, 651-9149 or 800-956-1023. Today it is, by special request, Larry Alexander Day on the radio. He's been, when he first started doing color on WCLU Sports, he didn't have a white hair on his head. And now that's all he's got on his head is white hair. But he's really a very special part of that broadcast, and we wanted to have a special birthday. So if you see Larry Alexander around today, you pat him on the back, remind him he's good as gold from WCLU, and a little taste of Texas, y'all.
Anderson Windows and Doors with Stormwatch protection are designed to meet building codes for coastal locations from Maine to Miami, Gainesville to Galveston, and they're on guard even when no one is home. Anderson Windows and Doors with Stormwatch protection. The uglier the weather gets, the more beautiful they become.
See the full line of Anderson Windows and Doors at Glasgow Building Supply, 31E Bypass in Glasgow. Anderson Windows. Come home to Anderson.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
You know, if you feel like you're stuck with a healthcare plan that isn't affordable, or you simply just don't like how it works, well, right now, during open enrollment is a perfect time to switch to Medi-Share. The typical family saves $500 a month when they join Medi-Share, and what's more, they like it. Medi-Share has double the customer satisfaction rate compared to the industry. That's double. And Medi-Share is the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. It's been around for 30 years. It's shared more than $4 billion in healthcare bills. And here's why now is the perfect time to make the switch. If you join Medi-Share Complete by January 1st, they will waive your new member fees, and you'll save an additional 10% off your first year. No fee to join, 10% off every month for all of next year. But again, it's a limited time offer. So yeah, you're not stuck. You've got a great option. Call now. 844-53-BIBLE. That's 844-53-BIBLE. 844-53-BIBLE.
Good morning live, 56 degrees here in WCLU, 744. Let's go live up the street right here to 621 West Main Street. Bobby Lee Hurt of Hurt Auto Sales. He's up there cleaning up after all that Halloween fun, aren't you there, Bobby Lee?
That's right. It was a good Halloween, and I hope everybody had lots of fun. I know I did.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you did, and you know, it turned out to be a perfect day. Just, you know, it was warm, but it was Halloweeny, if that's a word. Didn't you feel Halloweeny?
I most certainly did. As a matter of fact, I dressed up like a scarecrow.
Oh, you did. Well, you know,
I didn't have to do much dressing.
That's right. Were you very scary? I can see you stretched out across like a 2x4, you know, with your arms hanging out. That would be scary, Bobby Lee, for sure. You know, I'll say you've got two great kids. You got Cheyenne and Lucas. I'm going to ask them separately if their daddy ever stole any of their Halloween candy late at night.
Well, I can admit to that pretty quick.
Well, why don't we move forward then? Since you've made the confession, I want you to confess on some of the really low-priced, great deals that you've just got on the lot for people up there at Hurt Auto Sales.
That's right, Henry. We just got a 2013 Cadillac ATS four-door sedan, local, like brand new, inside and out. And we got it priced to sell for $15,900.
Man, that doesn't sound like a brand new inside and out price, but that's certainly a great price.
Most certainly is. You have to see it to appreciate it. It's really nice.
621 West Main Street. Type it in the GPS and just go up there and see how it runs.
That's right. Got a 2015 Jeep Cherokee, four-wheel drive, mid-size SUV. Make somebody a fine vehicle for just $16,900.
Great price. And, you know, when you're looking, Bobby Lee does a really good job. He keeps Jeeps on the lot because he knows how to buy them and buy them right. And you should check this one out for sure. Keep going.
We just traded also, Henry, for a 93 Ford Ranger.
Okay.
This this if you just want something to haul wood or haul your neighbor's wood or whatever.
Or haul your neighbor even.
Yeah, haul your neighbor. That's right. Take him to work.
That's right.
But you can buy this vehicle for $2,500 today.
Man, that's a Ford Ranger. That's a great. That price is in anybody's range. You think?
That's correct. That's what we do.
That's right. Bobby Lee has a good time helping people get the car they want. He has a great time finding things that he knows people want, and it's kind of like it's a great math class up there. He's always putting 2 and 2 together up there at Hurt Auto Sales, 621 West Main Street. I'm glad you had a happy Halloween. I don't know if you're going to be in costume today or not, but he won't be scary, folks. Just come on up there. He will win your heart with a special deal at 621 West Main Street, and the motto will be practiced today, rain or shine, and that is
no pain when you trade with Hurt.
Thank you, Bobby Lee. Have a good day, sir.
And you also. Thank you, Henry.
Bye.
This election, vote no on Amendment 2. Amendment 2 is a government mandate that would take away our individual rights. Amendment 2 is an extreme measure that bans all abortions, no exceptions. Not for the life of the mother or in the case of rape or incest. The decision to have an abortion should be made between a woman, her doctor, family, and faith. There's no telling how far politicians will go. We have to vote no on Amendment 2. Abortions in Kentucky have always been highly regulated. Abortion later in pregnancy is banned in Kentucky, and all women seeking an abortion must go through mandatory counseling. Amendment 2 puts women and families in danger. Miscarriages become fatal. Pregnancy complications can threaten a mother's life. It's why religious leaders and doctors across the state are voting no. Tell politicians Amendment 2 goes too far. On November 8th, vote no on Amendment 2.
Paid for by Protect Kentucky Access.
Here's a word from Danny Wyatt.
Good morning, friends. When I was coaching junior high basketball, there was a sign which hung on the wall of the gym which read, "The race is not won with the feet, but with the heart." Another way of expressing the same sentiment might be to say that circumstances do not make you or break you, but only serve to reveal what is inside of you. If that's true, then how one handles a circumstance may become more important than the circumstance. In each of our lives, we will face severe difficulties. It's much more important to work at improvement than to moan over the difficulty. Our mind will either be a great help or a great hindrance. When we seek to have the mind of Christ, we will be much better prepared for the disappointments as well as the joys of living. Life is a marathon race. Sometimes we fall. The question should be asked, are we going to lie there and bleed or get up and continue? We're going to bleed either way, but only when we continue the race will we be successful at the finish. This is Danny Wyatt for the Refuge Church of Christ.
All right, James Coates just arrived in the control room here with another birthday to tell you about. Happy birthday to Melissa Cronemeyer. Melissa Cronemeyer with a big birthday today. Happy birthday. I think does that get us caught up to date? It does, except for being caught up on Tidbit News.
From the north, south, east, west, NEWS, here's the latest news.
From around the world and up your street is Tidbit News, y'all. Busy day today at the radio station. We're learning a whole lot about a whole lot, though. You got to admit that.
A lot of birthdays today.
That's right. We are. We are just adding them there, and a lot going on.
I even have one for you.
Okay. Well, here, hold on. James has very nice manuscript handwriting.
You think so?
I do.
Okay. As compared
have you seen mine?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah, it took 3 years to figure it out.
So, Brendan, what are you adding?
All right, I'm adding Shirley Napier.
Okay.
I'm giving you that one. Yeah. I don't necessarily know if she's not on there or not.
No, she's not, but she's one of the nicest gals you'd ever want to meet.
Yeah.
Cool.
And a lady who identified herself as her best friend called that in.
Okay.
So, I will take that to be true.
And she has she's a good friend, and she has good friends, too.
Sure.
Thank you. Got Shirley on there, all right. And we had Betty Wright on there. We got Melissa Cronemeyer on there. So we are, as we say, up to date.
Yes.
Now, how about a little Tidbit News right here? I have a theme song for today. You ready? A couple of stories about... big old jet airliner tidbits for today.
All right.
This story is out of, and this is actually it's a very Scary story out of Australia. There's a woman from Queensland. She has a disability, and she has vowed to never fly this airline in Australia named Jetstar again because she ended up crawling off of the plane when the staff refused her request to use an aisle wheelchair for free. You see, apparently on Jet Airlines, or what did I say the name of that place was? Somewhere on it. Jetstar, that's the name of it.
Okay.
Apparently they tried to charge her to use the wheelchair.
Charge her more?
To get off of the plane.
Is that a violation of the ADA?
I don't know if they have that in Australia or not.
Oh, it's in Australia.
Yeah,
See,
right.
I need to pay attention.
Jet Air. During the last leg of her trip from Townsville to Bangkok, Natalie Curtis used an aisle wheelchair to help her get to her seat. But when it was time to depart the aircraft, Ms. Curtis said the staff asked her to pay to take the wheelchair to get off of the airplane.
That doesn't seem right.
She refused. She said she'd never been asked to pay before, and instead she decided to crawl off of the plane herself. And there's video.
Wow.
I didn't do it but some passengers videoed her crawling off of the plane. It took her 4 minutes to crawl off of the plane.
That's sad.
She admits there is a bit of a language barrier between her and the staff. When we arrived, the staff was asking us to actually pay, and I didn't really comprehend it. And no, I'm not paying to be able to get off of this airplane, she said.
I mean,
Good for her.
She has the right because in 1992, the Australian Human Rights Commission passed the Disability Discrimination Act.
Well, she was discriminated against for sure.
I mean, it literally says here, it's unlawful to discriminate, yada, 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 against getting or using services. I'd consider that a service.
Well, here's what Jetstar is saying. Quote, we unreservedly apologize to Ms. Curtis for her recent experience while traveling with us.
You should.
We are committed to providing a safe and comfortable travel experience for all of our customers. Yeah, how comfortable is that crawling on the floor?
That's horrible.
Anyway, Jetstar does not require payment for the use of an aisle wheelchair. What happened was they went out and got her wheelchair off of the plane, and it wouldn't fit down the aisle.
Oh.
They're like saying, no, you got to pay. She says, well, I got my own. They said, well, we'll go get it. But it wouldn't fit. That's bad.
That is bad.
Ms. Curtis is adamant that she's never going to fly with Jetstar again.
Good for you.
Describing her situation as embarrassing. That is bad, you know.
That is bad. Sound like they were just trying to take her, maybe make some cigarette money or something.
I don't know.
Who knows?
Story number 2. An Alaskan Airlines flight was delayed earlier this week, y'all, after 2 pilots who were supposed to be flying the aircraft could not get along. According to the airline, they said this last Thursday, actually.
I'll say, didn't we have this? We had something similar to this recently.
About where the pilots couldn't get along?
I think so.
Okay, well then,
unless this was a separate incident.
Well, this was on a flight from Washington to San Francisco. They returned. The flight was returned to the gate. When they were trying to take off last Monday, the 2 pilots had a professional disagreement.
A professional disagreement.
That's what it was. While the situation was unfortunate, in the interest of safety, the pilots did the right thing, the airline said.
That's what I'm going to start saying here at work.
That's right. Say, we can't get along. No news today. We can't get along.
Yeah, we have a professional argument.
I'll say I'm going to get out of here. I had a professional disagreement.
Both the captain and the first officer were evaluated by management. And it was determined they remain fit to fly.
Oh, that's good.
We swapped crews, and the flight continued to San Francisco. We apologize to our guests for the inconvenience that this caused. One passenger tweeted that apparently the pilots were having some sort of a disagreement after about an hour-and-a-half delay. Said we now return to the terminal because the captain and the first officer cannot get along. And anyway, one of the passengers even tweeted, says, can't we all just get along?
Especially on a plane.
That's right. You've heard of snakes on a plane. These 2 snakes are like, they couldn't work out their differences to get the plane off of the ground. I'm just not sure.
They're arguing over politics, religion, women, money.
I don't know. I like the feel of that.
What, women and money?
No.
Oh.
No. Not at all. The feel of pilots who can't get along.
Yeah, it's scary. I don't
want this guy not doing what the other guy thought he was supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know, the last story, I think you mentioned that they were going further than that. So I really think this is a separate one.
Okay, all right.
I just want to put this out there today. If there's anything you want to know about today, it's Extra Mile Day, and I don't think that means run an extra mile.
No.
I think that means
go the extra.
Someone says, "Hey, go 1, go 2."
Pay it forward.
And honestly, paying it forward, but not really the way I'm seeing it right now. I'm thinking of it in terms, that woman there. It's unfortunate that they made her, that was silly with that wheelchair incident. But, there's a lot of grace in that if she were to just simply say, hey, I'm glad you apologized. It's unfortunate. Don't let it happen again. But,
Well, how much money could that airline lose if the word got out that you had to pay to take a wheelchair off of the plane?
That's true.
I'd be all over that one for sure. But that's just just me.
That's horrible.
And one real quick story to wrap it up right here. James Coach is always wanting to figure out a way to break a Guinness World Record.
Yep.
So I've got one for you here.
You know what my new one is? Spinning a basketball.
You want to do that for how long?
Hour and 9 minutes is my record.
Okay, all
right.
Is
it really?
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
That's right.
I was much younger.
Because I know for a fact that somebody from Guinness was not there to see that.
No.
All right.
It's sad. I could have been famous.
Could have been.
This story, see if you can do this one. An Idaho man broke a Guinness World Record. This is what he did. He used a samurai sword. Excuse me.
What?
A what?
He used a samurai sword to chop through 56 airborne apples while bouncing on a pogo stick. Can you do that?
I can't even get on one.
My question is, why would you do that?
David Rush, he's broken more than 250 Guinness World Records to promote STEM education. He's now captured the title, y'all, for the most apples sliced in 1 minute on a pogo stick. You didn't know that category was all that crowded, did you?
Never even thought about it.
All I'm going to say is, good for him.
That's right. His neighbor, who is Jonathan Hollywood Hannon, threw 74 apples in 1 minute time period. Mr. Rush hit 3 of them, 56 of which were considered sliced evenly to count toward the record. He said the most difficult part of this whole deal, he's called the Pogo Stick Fruit Ninja. The difficulty was learning how to bounce on a pogo stick without using his hands.
He's very coordinated.
It sounds like it to me. So anyway, if you want that to be your next attempt at a Guinness World Records,
I'll pass on that.
That one seems like a lot of rehearsal on that one for sure.
I'd have to have some strong shocks on that thing.
I got you. And that's what we have in the way of tidbit news for today.
This is your home for Glasgow's best variety. WCLU Glasgow.